Remember, personal interviews, maybe you guys have to be very honest. Again, those people who are interviewing you, they know a lot more, lot more than you guys do. Okay, so there will be times when they ask you some questions jiske answers you don't have. Suppose related to the business industry, the industry in general, to जिस भी topic से जिस भी course से related आप वहाँ पे गए हो interview के लिए, तो they might ask you उस course से related industry के questions. You might know them, you might not know them. ठीक है, तो if you do not know them, clearly let them know that, sir, I'm sorry, but I do not have any idea about this. Okay. Otherwise, if you have some idea, but you want to take a guess, you think you can make a guess. Okay. So tell them, ki, sir, I do not know properly, but if you're okay, can I take a guess? Okay. So take a guess there and explain your reasons with your guess. Okay. And now, another important thing that I've seen in personal interviews now is that बहुत सारे cases में there will be some interviewers which do not let you finish. ठीक है, तो suppose you are talking, they asked you a question and you started talking about it. ठीक है, तो they might interrupt you in the middle. ठीक है, now in these cases now you can do one of two things. The first one is that you let it go and जो भी अगला question पूछा you answer that. You only take this option when you think कि आपने ना बहुत ही bullshit बात करना शुरू कर दिया था. ठीक है, suppose करो they started asking you to tell, you know, to explain a particular topic. ठीक है, तो let's say they asked you to explain the concept of marginal utility. So you thought बहुत simple था and you started explaining. And if you think कि उन तक आपका point पहुंच गया होगा, they would have understood your point and that is why they stopped you abruptly and asked you the next question. Then you let it go. But for example, you were talking about something very important and before you could even start, like आपने शुरू भी नहीं किया explain करना and किसी दूसरे, because there are more than one interviewers, like there are 2 or 3 people sitting, तो किसी और ने आपको interrupt करके कोई दूसरा question डाल दिया. That is also a test. ठीक है, because suppose करो first interview asked me what is marginal utility and I start, marginal utility is basically, and before I can go forward the other person asks me, no, explain what is demand and aggregate supply. ठीक है, you politely tell the other interviewer, sir, if it is fine, may I finish with this one and then can I move on to the next question. ठीक है, that is the way of how you tackle such sort of situations, because यहाँ पे ना they are testing that कि आप कैसे handle करते हो when they put on a lot of pressure on you. ठीक है, so remember that when you have multiple questions coming at you, tell them politely that is it fine if I answer one before I move on to the next one. Okay, so keep that in mind also. अच्छा, next I'll be talking about your preparation tips now. Make a note of the tips I'm going to tell you right now because these are quite important. ठीक है, so first thing, interviewers now, they might be very grumpy. ठीक है, तो that's for the reason for that, यार सुबह 9 बजे से बैठे होते हैं and they keep taking interviews till 4 o'clock. So it's not an easy job to keep looking at people's faces. Some of them might be smart, some of them might be stupid. So it's not easy to keep looking at people all day long and still stay very, enthusiastic and happy. So फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ गॉटन अ स्लॉट जहाँ पे बहुत ही मतलब लेट से मिला आपको टाइम स्लॉट, या फिर सपोज लंच के बाद वाला स्लॉट मिला आपको, तो टीचर्स आर एक्स्ट्रा ग्रम्पी ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम. ठीक है, तो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज व्हेन दे आर टॉकिंग टू यू ना, डू नॉट स्माइल बैक. Might sound very weird what I'm trying to convey right now. Do not smile back. If they are asking, keep a straight face, like एक particular face रख के रखो and keep talking in that face only. For example, if your resting face has a little bit of a smile, so let it stay like that. Don't overdo it, don't underdo it, because अगर इंटरव्यू लंबा चल गया, 10 मिनट के आसपास चल गया एंड आपका फेस का एक्सप्रेशन बार बार चेंज हो रहा है ना, दे गेट इरिटेटेड बहुत जल्दी. ठीक है, सो कीप दैट इन माइंड. ठीक है, अच्छा, नेक्स्ट थिंग इज द क्वेश्चन, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन दैट एवरी इंटरव्यूअर विल आस्क यू इज टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट योरसेल्फ. ठीक है, रिमेंबर दिस क्वेश्चन इज टू फूल यू. दे डोंट केयर आपके बारे में कुछ भी जानना. ऑल दे वांट टू नो इज आपकी academics and the reason why you're excelling in those academics and आपके ethics and your values. That's it. आप बोलोगे जरूर कि you were born and brought up in so and so place, ठीक है, या फिर so and so things की वजह से whatever you want to speak about, keep your personal details to a bare minimum of 30 seconds. उससे ज्यादा नहीं जाना चाहिए. ठीक है, उसके बाद में I'll tell you what things you should include. ठीक है, पहला चीज तो ये, कोई पूछता ना टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट योरसेल्फ, आपके फेस पे ऐसा नहीं लगना चाहिए कि यू वर वेरी वेल प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, टेक अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ टाइम, and then start answering. It should look very genuine, very authentic when you start answering. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि already came prepared for this question. ठीक है? It should be like on spot आपने सोचा है and now you're talking about it. ठीक है? So don't take a lot of time. For example, a question is put to me, tell me something about yourself. My eyes go to the left for a little bit and then I start speaking. ठीक है? तो ऐसे क्या होगा ना, this when your eyes move ना, it shows that you're thinking. ठीक है? ये भी एक aspect है that you need to learn today only, कि if your eyes move towards the left, थोड़ा सा ऊपर की तरफ, it shows that you're thinking a little. ठीक है? तो अगर आप वो करते हो, they'll feel that you're thinking and then you start answering. ठीक है? 1 or 2 seconds, that's it. Next thing is you talk about, like जब something about yourself के बारे में ना, ऑनलाइन बहुत आप लोगों को मिल जाएंगे कि हाउ डू यू कंस्ट्रक्ट दैट फॉर्मेट अबाउट समथिंग अबाउट योरसेल्फ, बट आई विल गिव यू अ वेरी शॉर्ट स्वीट फॉर्मेट दैट आई यूज इन माय इंटरव्यू. ठीक है? सो आई स्टार्टेड विद दैट आई वाज बोर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप इन द हिली स्टेट ऑफ असम in a small city called Guwahati. I belong to a family where ethics have been given very, large amount of importance, huge importance, and I feel that playing table tennis brings out the best in me, brings out the best qualities in me. Okay? So this was all the personal details I give. That's it. And if you look at it very carefully, in personal details maybe na, I included a line where I said ethics are very important to my family. ठीक है? तो that shows कि आप बहुत ही ethical person हो. तो वो चीज आप bring out कर सकते हो through your personal description also. ठीक है? तो ये तो हो गया something about yourself का starting 30 seconds. उसके बाद you can talk about your biggest achievements. ठीक है? उसको कैसे डिस्गाइज करना है, आई एम टेलिंग यू. योर बिगेस्ट अचीवमेंट इज नेवर योर बिगेस्ट अचीवमेंट. ओके? टेक अ वेरी स्मॉल अचीवमेंट एंड यू ग्लोरीफाई इट. हाउ डू यू डू दैट? फॉर एग्जांपल, when I was asked about my biggest achievement, I replied like this. I told them that my biggest achievement was that when I was in class 9, that was the first time I took part in a Model UN conference, and the first day in the third hour when I was told to speak and I could not do it, the way I gathered my all the confidence that I had within me and brought out all my fearlessness and brought it out to speak the first few words, which brought out the entire confidence I could feel in myself to talk further and to finish my speech. That was the most proud moment for me, and that was my biggest achievement. So you only told them a very small aspect. देखो, इसको आप दो तरीके से कर सकते थे. That you participated in an MUN, that is your biggest achievement. Or instead of that, I brought a very small incident. That is the first time I spoke, the first time I took part in public speaking. ठीक है? The first time my confidence started growing. So that became my biggest achievement. तो ऐसे क्या होता है ना, they'll see you as a humble person who belongs to his roots and talks about only the things that actually made him as a good person. ठीक है? तो इस टाइप की चीजें they notice a lot, and this will set you apart from the other candidates, because वो लोग जो आएंगे ना, their biggest achievements will be कि मैंने इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में पार्ट लिया था, मैंने यहाँ पे ये अवार्ड जीता है, सबने कुछ ना कुछ किया है. ठीक है? They want to connect with you as a person. What is your biggest achievement? That is what they are asking. ठीक है? So keep that in mind. अच्छा, they might ask you the meaning of your name. Don't look stupid. याद कर लेना क्या है आपका नाम का मतलब. ठीक है? It might happen, I'm telling you guys. अच्छा, the next question that usually comes is, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? ठीक है? Now let's make this a little interactive. I want you guys to answer. ठीक है? Whoever is here, जितना भी stupid answer हो, it's fine. ठीक है? You can send it to me privately if you guys want. I want your answer when I ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay, quickly type and tell me. ठीक है? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? How would you answer that? एक sentence या 2 sentence, उससे ज्यादा नहीं. ठीक है? Quickly. Okay, I have two answers for, as of now. Fatafat, guys. I want everyone to answer. Come on. Okay. One, two, uh, three, 4, 5. 5 people have responded. I'll wait for one more minute. Okay. Okay. तो देखो, I don't have a problem with the answers you guys gave me. In fact, some of them are really good answers. But the thing is now, what these people are looking for is not something, again, you'll have to remember, why is it known as a personal interview? Not an academic interview or a, career interview, not something like that. Why is it a personal interview? यहाँ पे ना, it's not your career, it's not your academics that is being judged, it's you that's being judged. ठीक है? So when I talk about where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, your best answers come as, I see myself as a very confident, bold, ठीक है, individual with great self integrity, upholding the ethics that I hold close to myself today. ठीक है? Those types of things, and you can combine them with the academic progression that you see yourself for the 5 years. For example, so and so individual, whatever I said right now, along with that you can add who is currently in a well respected job that I so wish to join, okay, in a company of my choosing, or I want to all these aspects of myself as an individual, and holding my own office or my own business, okay, and running it with full commitment and dedication. Okay, so include your own personal aspects. That's what they want to see. कि आप 5 साल में personal growth किस type का देखना चाहते हो. ठीक है, so keep that in mind because that is more important here. Okay, चलो, I don't see any more chats, so I'll move on. अच्छा, after that now, I hope this question I could clarify for you guys. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? अगर कोई भी doubt हुआ, keep it till the end of the discussion. होने वाला, we are about to end our session now. उसके बाद you can ask me in the end. ठीक है? Other things that are very important in the interview. अगला thing जो उन लोग पूछते हैं कि why Christ or why any college which you are joining, why that college? वही college क्यों? ठीक है? तो what you need to do now, your answers may vary, but I'll tell you these are the common things जो होने चाहिए उस आंसर में. ठीक है? Number one, I've heard from seniors or other people that Christ की या फिर whatever college you're going for, faculty is good, the course curriculum is updated very frequently. ठीक है? The ways in which students are taught, there are a lot of interactive methods used, and the continuous evaluation is a good way to keep students involved in the learning process. Those things, those are the things you talk about. Okay, and if they ask what more, like or kyun, kya reason say that you want to join this particular college, only then you talk about that. I've heard there's a lot of extracurricular activities that happen in this college. There's a lot of opportunity and chance for any student to grow in those aspects as well. Okay, only then you add those things. Okay, next thing that they can ask you, पहले तो पूछा why this particular college, next thing they can ask is why this particular course. ठीक है, तो remember why you're choosing that course. ठीक है, I have told you this a lot of times before, बहुत सारे सेशंस पे हमने डिस्कस किया है. The course which you are choosing should be something जो अगर आपको रात को 12-1 बजे में मैं उठा के बोलूं इसमें से कुछ करो, you should not be disinterested, you should not be bored. आपको ऐसा ना हो कि मुझे मजा आता है ये करने में. So it should be something that is interesting to you, something that you've liked as from a very small age, or something that you've developed an interest in the past few years, and you feel that you can do something very big in this particular sector. You're very passionate about that sector. ठीक है, यू लाइक टू लर्न एंड नो अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स अबाउट दैट सेक्टर, बिकॉज इस एज में ना दिस इज व्हाट इंटरव्यूअर्स आर लुकिंग फॉर, कि जो भी आप कोर्स चूज कर रहे हो वो आप इसीलिए चूज कर रहे हो बिकॉज वो आपका पैशन है, वो आपका सबसे बड़ा इंटरेस्ट है, उसमें आपको और सीखने का बहुत ज्यादा वो रहता है, मतलब अंदर से क्यूरियोसिटी रहता है, ठीक है। सो कीप दोज पॉइंट्स इन माइंड व्हेन दिस क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड, ठीक है। अच्छा, एक और चीज जो आप ऐड कर सकते हो व्हेन दे आस्क व्हाई दिस कोर्स, दैट दिस इज अ वेरी स्मॉल स्टेप, दिस इज अ स्मॉल स्टेप टुवर्ड्स माय लॉन्ग टर्म करियर गोल, ठीक है, दैट आई हैव अ लॉन्ग टर्म करियर गोल इन माइंड, दैट आई वांट टू बिकम सो एंड सो। जो बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है व्हाट डू यू वांट टू बिकम, अगर पूछे तो हो सके बोलना पड़े, बट स्टार्टिंग में मत बोलना कि आई हैव अ लॉन्ग टर्म करियर गोल, ठीक है, टुवर्ड्स व्हिच टेकिंग लेट्स से इको ऑनर्स इज माय फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स रियलाइजिंग दैट गोल, दैट इज व्हाई, ठीक है, ये भी ऐड करना। अच्छा, now this is a very tricky question that you might get asked, especially at colleges like Christ or other colleges, that which other colleges have you applied for, are there any other colleges जिसमें आपने अप्लाई किया है, ठीक है। So when a question like that comes, make sure that you're answering कि ना what is your first choice, आपका first preference क्या है, ठीक है, keep that in mind कि आपका first preference क्या है। तो कीपिंग योर फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस इन माइंड, उसके बाद ही रिप्लाई करना कि माय फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस इज क्राइस्ट एंड आई हैव ओनली अप्लाइड एट लेट्स से क्राइस्ट फॉर नाउ, कोई भी कॉलेज जिसमें भी आप अप्लाई कर रहे हो, ठीक है, आई हैव ओनली अप्लाइड फॉर सो एंड सो कॉलेज टिल नाउ, एंड क्या बोलते हैं, सो and they might ask ki, what if you don't get selected, ठीक है, then you can tell them that if I don't get selected, I'll first of all be very disappointed because it has been I've been thinking about this college since a very long time now, I've been preparing for the entrance exams, for the interviews for a very long time now, so I'll be very disappointed if I don't get selected, but I will keep an optimistic mind and mindset and try to apply for the other colleges in other cities if there are, like if I get selected for those, I'll be applying for them later on, ठीक है, if I do not get selected here, ये चीज बोलना, ठीक है। अच्छा, and they might also ask you कि what can you give back to me and the college, ठीक है, इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन में ना don't bring your academics कि आई एम अ ब्राइट स्टूडेंट, आई कैन गिव बैक एकेडमिकली, मतलब आप अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस दे सकते हो या फिर यू कैन परफॉर्म वेल फॉर द कॉलेज, दीज आर थिंग्स यू कैन नॉट प्रॉमिस, दीज आर थिंग्स दैट आर नॉट इन योर कंट्रोल, एकेडमिक्स कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है, ठीक है। सो व्हाट यू शुड आंसर इज दैट यू कैन गिव बैक 100% डेडिकेशन एंड कमिटमेंट टू द कॉलेज, यू कैन गिव बैक something which is intangible but which you can control, आपका खुद का कमिटमेंट, आपका खुद का डेडिकेशन, आपका खुद का 100% इंटेग्रिटी, एथिक्स, ये सब चीज आप प्रॉमिस कर सकते हो कि you'll stay ethical, you'll be a person with good integrity, ये सब चीज आप प्रॉमिस कर सकते हो, so you can tell that as an answer, ठीक है। तो in the end they might even ask you is there something you want to ask me, अगर आपके पास है कोई क्वेश्चन surely ask because this shows that you are definitely interested in that college, तभी आपके पास क्वेश्चंस है, वरना आपके पास नहीं होते, ठीक है। तो you can tell them that if they ask you is there something you want to ask me, and if they do not ask you this question, आप सामने से भी बोल सकते हो sir at the end of the interview, sir is it fine if I ask you a few questions, they will usually allow you to ask, ठीक है। And then you can ask about that at the website and other places online or from seniors you've heard कि बहुत सारे extra curricular activities and all होते हैं, ठीक है। And then अगर अभी तक आपने boast नहीं किया था अपने academic achievements के बारे में, extra curricular achievements के बारे में, तो आप इससे मैं बोस्ट कर सकते हो, आप बोल सकते हो कि सर आई played for my school team or for the district team for so and so sports of in so and so events since a very long time, so I've heard that Christ is has a lot of extracurricular activities, so can like I've been into so and so activities, so will I be allowed to continue such activities, will I get an opportunity to continue such activities at my college। तो ये चीज से क्या होगा ना, दो बेनिफिट है अगेन इसमें, पहला आप ये चीज दिखा रहे हो कि आपके ये सब अचीवमेंट्स, आप ये सब चीजों में बहुत अच्छे हो, और दूसरा कि आप मतलब सच्ची में इंटरेस्टेड हो इस कॉलेज में, इसीलिए आप इतना इंक्वायर कर रहे हो, ठीक है। अच्छा, अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है ना, like it is similar to the question where do you see yourself 5 years from now, they might even ask where do you see yourself 10 years from now, so 10 years में ना you will completely talk about yourself only, जो मैंने बोला था ना कि पर्सनल एलिमेंट्स के बारे में बात करो 5 ईयर वाले लाइन में, when the question is for 5 years talk about personal and academics का combination, अगर 10 years का क्वेश्चन हुआ सिर्फ पर्सनल ग्रोथ के बारे में बात करना कि आई सी माई सेल्फ टू बी अ डेडिकेटेड फोकस्ड इंडिविजुअल, जो ट्रुथ है सिर्फ, ठीक है। खुद से सोचो कि आप 10 साल बाद अपने आप को किस टाइप का पर्सन देखते हो, नॉट एकेडमिकली बट होलिस्टिकली आप खुद से अपने आप को किस टाइप का ह्यूमन बीइंग समझते हो आफ्टर 10 years फ्रॉम टुडे. कीप दैट इन माइंड, फ्रेम एन आंसर फॉर दैट, और वो आपको बोलना है. ठीक है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, वन लास्ट थिंग कि यू हैव टू मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ 5 ऑफ योर स्ट्रेंथ्स एंड 5 ऑफ योर वीकनेसेस. जो आपके वीकनेस होने चाहिए ना, दे शुड नॉट बी वीकनेस पर से, challenges that you see in yourself. For example, personally I feel that I tend to take on too much work. ठीक है. And sometimes it is difficult for me to manage that work. तो ये मेरे लिए चैलेंज है, but I'll pose that as a weakness कि I tend to overwork. And then whenever you talk about a weakness of yours ना, करेक्ट कर देना उस वीकनेस को कि I have seen myself to be a person who takes on a lot of work and it sometimes stresses me out completely, but I've been managing my workload recently and I'm trying to ration my work as properly as I can and try to multitask in a more efficient manner. तो ऐसे अपने, अगर आप उन लोग पूछते हैं ना टेल मी 5 ऑफ योर वीकनेसेस, तो बताओ 5 वीकनेसेस, लेकिन उनको करेक्ट कैसे कर रहे हो आप अभी करंटली, करेक्ट कैसे कर रहे हो वो भी बताना. वो लोग नहीं सुनना चाहते कि आई एम वेरी लेजी, आई स्लीप वेरी सून, वो सब उनसे, उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता उन सब चीजों से. तो ऐसे वीकनेसेस बताने हैं दैट आर चैलेंजेस फॉर यू एंड यू कैन करेक्ट देम. ठीक है. सो कीप दैट इन माइंड, दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So I think I've covered all the things that I wanted to talk about.